What's going on, everybody? This is Al from PlaybookGamer.com, and today we're going to look at the Florida multiple playbook in college football 25. This is the Billy Napier offense. Now, he hasn't done so well at Florida. I thought he'd done a good job at Louisiana before taking the Gator job. But in terms of the playbook itself, it's pretty unique. It's multiple for a couple of reasons. One, it's split pretty much right down the middle between shotgun and pistol formations, and it just has a bunch of different concepts all over the place, which again makes it multiple. So I think you'll like it if you want a little bit of everything, and even has some Wildcat and some Full House. Again, it's a nice hodgepodge of things. So we're going to go over the formations and concepts and play types and personnel, and hopefully by the end of the video you have a good idea of what this playbook is all about. So let's start off with the formations. Like I said, this is pretty much half shotgun, half pistol. Let's just start with the shotgun first. Let's look at some formations. Starting off with split twins. This is a 21 personnel look with those two backs and a tight end number 8. Then we get into a 12 personnel look in gun deuce. Then we got normal Y off. Now we're heading to our 11 personnel. Now let's go ahead and tell you now, this is very 11 personnel heavy. So you got normal Y off, stack off weak, Y off trips weak, tight Y off weak, off flex, I should say. Then we got tight open, still number 8, still out there, so still 11 personnel. Spread Y slot, trips, this is our first 10 personnel formation. And then empty trio, which is another 11 personnel formation. Your halfback and tight end is still out there. So when you go through these, notice the bulk of this is going to be 11 personnel. So I want to go over to here first. And the first thing I like to do is just to look for pre-snap motions. Those are good little mini series. Now you can always run a mini series off these 3 plays, for example, inside zone split, play action, F slide on top of that, and you can do streak. You can put those 3 together, but I always like to look for the pre-snap motions. These tend to work a little well together. They give the defense the same look, especially when you mix in that motion. That window dressing is really good. So here we are with normal Y off. We got a jet sweep action. We got the jet sweep. We got a play action, and we got a vertical look on top of that. Then we got some other jet sweep stuff here. We got a touch pass. We got a fake zone and a power on top of that. So these 6 plays alone will be a whole lot of fun to group together throughout a game. You keep on going. We got a swing to go with that. And we got another swing. It's called spot wheel. So that halfback swing route, you throw that one in there with halfback swing, and there you go. And that's a nice little mini series. You keep on going. You go to stack Y off weak. Do we have any here? What about Y off trips? Here we go. Here's some more halfback swing. We got Y screen. We got a stick and nod and another stick. So that's a pretty cool little group right there. You keep on going. Let's see. We got another one right here. You see your tight end with PA motion slide. That is your tight end going in motion to the left. And we'll go ahead and select that while we're here. We'll go up against like a random nickel. So here we got to go and come back on one side with a crosser on the other. But you got a little window dressing. Get your tight end over this way. And you're going to do a little play action here. Can I get that? I may get picked off. Either way, just a neat little play there, but it looks like there's not much else that goes with that one. But again, it's just a little window dressing thrown in there. So you keep on going. I don't see any more here. Y off trips weak. Here we have more halfback swing. You got the swing, you got a pump and go, and a spot concept on top of that. We also got a Z spot, so that's similar with the slant spot. You keep on going. Do we have any more in this formation? It looks like we don't. What about tight Y off flex? I don't see any there. Tight open. Usually these compressed sets don't have a ton of pre-snap motion. Just kind of depends on the playbook. But we're going to keep on going. Just quickly looking for the pre-snap motion. I just, again, mention those. Here we go. We got a jet touch pass out of empty trio. And we got a mesh with a Z action with that motion from the right going to the left. I always like mesh. I'm going to go ahead and select that because I just feel like running it. Enjoy mesh. Little window dressing throw in there with it. Bring that Z receiver over. Give him a nice little run and start on that one. Pick up a few yards there. But anyway, so those are your motions with your shotgun. So one thing I want to mention about Billy Napier while I'm here is if you go to like normal Y off, I'm going to go ahead and just select a random play like halfback counter. So one thing about Billy Napier is if you watch Florida at all, they love to use pre-snap motion. Like, I can't stress enough, they use it like every single play. Now, you would think it would just be one simple pre-snap motion, but no. Sometimes he'll do full-blown shifts, things of that nature. So, like, if you really want to mimic Billy Napier's offense, you can do a couple different things. One, you can hit square and hit R2, and you can just flip the play. It's just a shift, in my opinion, when you do something like that. And then from there, you can select a tight end, for example, bring him down, and you can motion him over. So those are 2 shifts right there. And then you can snap the ball, okay? If you just, again, it's up to you, have whatever you want to use there. But I'm just going to mention, if you really want to mimic his offense, flip a play every once in a while. Motion a player manually, and then imagine throwing that on top of another motion to go with that. Again, you just can do a lot of really cool things pre-snap if you really want to mimic what he's trying to do. So let's talk about pistol. We got pistol U-off trips out of the gate, and then we got wing slot over. And actually, I want to go back over here, and I want to go over to pistol. I want to talk about strong slot first. Let's talk about strong slot. So this is a 21 personnel look. You got 18 plays there. What's interesting, you got weak slot, and then a U-off trips. But what's funny is if you go into the pistol formations, what's on the very far right? Strong trips over. Why they threw that on the back end, I don't know. So when you back out, and this is the first formation you see, if you hit the left button to go to the end of the list, there's another strong formation, which is actually a very rare formation in this game. But let's go back to strong slot. 21 personnel there. Weak slot, the same thing. Now we get the U-off trips. That's 12 personnel. Wing slot over, the same thing. And then we get right to our 11 personnel. Doubles Y off. Doubles Y off stack. Y off trips. Bunch, that's still 11 personnel. Again, number 8's out there. Then there's that strong trips over. So I just wanted to point that out. Why they threw it on the back end, I'm not really sure. But let's go over a strong slot. Let's look at that pre-snap motion stuff. Here we got a nice little series with a jet sweep. You got the touch pass. You got the fake jet. You got a fake zone. You keep on going. And let's go over to weak slot. Here's some more jet sweep. Notice there are a lot more jet sweep in the pistol formations than there are on the shotgun. The shotgun, we saw a ton of halfback swings. There was some jet sweep in there, but most of the jet sweep is going to be in these pistol formations, as you will see here. There's another one right there. It's a fake zone with a jet on top of that. You got doubles Y off. Do we have any here? Yes, we do. Another nice little series. You got Y off trips. Do we have any here? I do not see any. What about bunch? I don't see any there. And what about strong trips over? No, we don't have any there. So again, when you use one of these, I'm going to go ahead and use this touch pass, for example. You go right here. There's nothing stopping you from, like flipping the play. Did I call the right play? Yes, I did. Just want to make sure. And then you can go from there. Then you can snap the ball. Again, it's just all window dressing. Go over here. Can you get any type of blocking? Not a whole lot. But anyway, just a really cool way just to give another look for the defense to think about. So those are all your pre-snap motions from all those formations. So it's a half and half. Again, there's like 11 shotgun formations, and you got like, I think 9 pistol formations. You got 1 wildcat formation, unbalanced. You got 3 plays there, and guess what? It's more pre-snap motion, a lot of jet sweep. Then you go to full house. You got 9 plays here. Full house tight to be exact. There are no pre-snap motion there, but you can use this for your 3rd and short, 4th and short, or you just want to switch things up a little bit. So those are your formations. Let's talk about personnel. We've already hinted at some of this. Starting off, 11 personnel. The bulk of the playbook is going to be this. It's like with most playbooks in the game, 11 personnel is just like the sexy personnel grouping everybody uses, but you're going to have a ton of it in here. 23, that's your goal line. 21, you got a little bit. You got split twins, strong slot, weak slot. And you got Wildcat, that's your unbalanced. And then you got 32 personnel, that's that full house tight. And QB kneel. Your 20 personnel is strong trips over. That's technically 3 wide receivers out there and not a tight end. And then your 12 personnel, you got deuce out of the gun, U-off trips from pistol, and wing slot over from pistol. Then we got your 10 personnel. This is one of the only downsides, I guess, to this playbook is there's just not a lot of 10 personnel. Sometimes you just need to go 4 wide. The good news is you got 18 plays in here if you need to go 4 wide quite a bit. You can do that. And I'm imagining if you go to that empty formation from the shotgun, you could probably use a sub package to get your 4 tight or wide receivers out there if needed. Let's talk about concepts. I'm going to go over to run. Now notice the play count. It kind of gives you a rough idea of how much you have of everything. Notice we got a lot of medium passes and a bunch of deep passes. But let's start off with the runs. And here we got inside zone, 25 of them. Yes, we all know inside zone is the most popular run concept in the game, but there are an absolute ton of them. And notice we got an inside zone splits. We got those, there we go, inside zone split. You got those fake jets on top of that. Just a nice little collection of different ways to go about doing inside zone. ISO, you got one play there. You got 9 powers. If you need a pulling guard, a pulling action of some sort, they're going to dump them here. But if you're going to run any power, you better use some counter to go with it. Might as well. They just go really well together. And notice that tight end counter Y, that's that split action. I'm going to go ahead and call this one. Let's see if I can make this look halfway decent. We'll go up against something random. Find a crease, get up there, get a few yards possibly. You just got to be real patient with the blocking there. But anyway, plenty of power and plenty of counter in the playbook. You also have 10 draws. That's a whole lot. It depends on how you're going to use this playbook. If you're going to do a lot of drop back, you got plenty of draw right here, even from the pistol too. Outside zone, we have 9 of these. So anytime you have a playbook that has a lot of pistol, you're going to have quite a bit of outside zone. Notice most of these are from the pistol formations. So I'm going to go ahead and call this stretch. We'll go up against 4-3 random. And random may not have been a good idea because it looks like we're going against cover 0, but you should be able to flip these. But I'm just going ahead and just snap this. Can we get a block or two? There we go. Going to get a decent gain there. Either way, it's a nice little complement of run concepts we have here. What did I say at the beginning? This is a multiple playbook, so you're going to have a little bit of everything. Speaking of, you got a couple of sweeps and you got a trap. So just notice a bunch of inside zone. You got plenty of power, plenty of counter. You got plenty of draw, and you got plenty of outside zone. It's not your typical like spread playbook where it's pretty much inside zone and power and a little counter. You got some outside zone and draw to go with it. Let's talk about the options. So notice again, I find it really interesting how they put these in order. At the very beginning, they put RPO reads at the top. So you got 7 RPO reads, a decent number, I guess. Inverted veer, you got 1 of those. You got 2 load options. These are technically your speeds. Midline option. You don't see a whole lot of midline option in the spread playbooks, but you got one in here if that is your thing. If I'm not mistaken, midline read, I think you read a defensive tackle, if I'm not mistaken. It's been forever since I've called that play. Read option, you got 15 of these. This is pretty typical. This is your most common option concept in most of the playbooks. But notice you got that Y read lead option. Really cool stuff there. I really enjoy those. You go to speed option. We've already looked at those 2. You got 4 triples. Pretty cool. You got them from split, from trips, a couple from pistol as well. Then you got zone option. This is technically speed option. You got RPO peaks. You got 5 of those, and you got 14 alerts. A lot of these alerts, a little bit of everything. It could be just a little hitch screen like you see here with these alerts, or you may have a glance route or a little bubble. A lot of these are usually hitches, but sometimes I wonder how they really categorize some of these things. But either way, you got enough RPOs to have fun with. But notice, we got a little bit of everything. We got some RPOs, we got some leads, some triples, some speeds, and zones, and all kinds of good stuff to mix in with all those runs we just talked about. Let's talk about quick pass. You got 3 Ohios. That's the go out combo. You got 13 slants, 1 spacing, and 9 stick. And so as we all know, slant and stick go together. So if you go to either one of these, you're going to see a combination of the 2. Notice stick right here in the middle. You got a slant over the middle. You look over here on the right, gun empty trio. Slant on one side, stick on the other. Again, they always just go together. Medium pass, we got 90 of these. Notice all the different kinds we got. An absolute bunch. And we're starting off with a humongous one, and that is smash. Your high-low reads. Your bench swap over here on the left. That's a counter with a flat underneath it. Or you can get more old school with those, and you could do something like PA read smash, where you got the flag and the hitch underneath it. But 28. Use these, pick the ones you like. It just kind of depends on what you're into. I tend to favor the old school smash more so than the counter strikes, but they all work pretty well in this game. Choice, you got 6 of these, so more or less any play that has an option route, they're going to throw it in here, but it's a little bit of everything, as you can tell by the routes. Curls, 11 of these, so think of any curl or a hitch, they're going to dump it here. Double moves, we got 6 of those. We got 5 drives. So drive, think of a dig and a drag underneath it. You got levels, think of a drag and a dig underneath that, but usually it's like an in route. Drive is more of a drag. Levels is more of a dig or in a sense. They all kind of work the same way, more or less. You got 6 mesh. If you need a little air raid in your playbook, you got some of it here. You got 2 pivots. If you like the pivot route, pivots are really good against man. Salem, 4 plays there. You got 1 shake. Not many shakes in this playbook or in this game in general. If you just like that particular route, notice that little H receiver on the left. He just does a little shake route. Shallow cross. This goes perfectly well with those driving levels. You got a dig and a drag underneath it. Slot cross. 7 of these. If you need that slot doing a crossing route of some sort. There you go. Then you got spot, 7 of these. So if you like that little spot route, notice spot wheel on the left. That's the X receiver. The one on the right, bench Z spot, doing the same thing. Then we got a Texas route. But again, how many different concepts do we have? An absolute ton. This is what happens when you pick a multiple playbook. You just got a lot to choose from. Next up, deep pass. No different. A ton of options here. We got 11 floods. So if you want to flood one side of the field, you can do that. I love flood, especially if you got like a backside dig for good against man. The rest of it can attack zone. I think it works pretty well. Like you can hit this backside dig for a good yardage right there. Just a good little stuff. You know, again, you can do one side reads, pre-snap reads with those. I really enjoy them in general. You go to comeback. We got 8 of those. If you like that deep comeback, killer against man, have a good backside zone concept on the other side. 7 daggers. So if you like the slot, have a go route with a dig underneath it, that's what those are, if that's your thing. You got 2 divides, 2 double digs, 8 double posts. It's not my favorite, but there's plenty of it in here if that's your thing. Verticals, 10 of these. And what I find funny is I don't watch Florida a ton, but every time I do watch them, I feel like Napier, he just never calls a whole lot of deep stuff. I don't know why. I could be dead wrong. They just destroyed Kentucky in that last game. Maybe they chucked it deep a lot. Either way, you got plenty of verticals there. You got 2 meals if you need a post with a dig underneath it. You got 5 Portlands. That's actually a decent number, and you see what Portland is. You got a post on one side and a dig on the other there. We got 15 shot plays. It's a little bit of everything here. Just think a couple of go or post routes. They kind of throw it here more or less. It's not just strictly streaks. Then we got 6 switches if you like the post and the wheel combo. So this PA tight end wheel, that's classic run and shoot stuff right there, but that's a play action version of it, which I find pretty sexy if you're a run and shoot guy. Next up, we got play action. So as we know, there's not 15 total in here. It says we got 3 boots and 12 slides, but I want to talk about slide here really quick. So if you notice back in these formations, you go over here to gun, notice that tight end is off the line a whole lot in this playbook. A lot. I mean, every single one of these 11 personnel, he's off the line. So when you think about that, when you go over to concepts and play action, that's where you can run that inside zone split and these play actions off of it. Notice all these slides. It's that same thing. It could be a fullback, but a lot of times it's the tight end. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out to you. They all just kind of work together. Go to screens. It says we got 18, but we know better. There's actually more in here. It says we got a flanker split screen. We got 8 of these. These are just basic wide receiver quick screens with a couple RPOs built in. Bubbles, some of these RPOs we've already looked at. Some of them are the swings, things of that nature. Then you got wide receiver mid-screen too. But as we know, if you go over to play type, you go to pass and you go over to screen pass, we have 16 total true screens. This does not include RPOs. So you got 16 of these, all kinds of variety from slip screens to mid screens, to, I think we even got a tight end screen in here somewhere. Yeah, there we go. Tight end screen out of gun white off trips weak and your swings on top of that. So when you add that with those RPOs, you got a very diverse screen game in this playbook. Let's talk about play action pass. Look at that number on the right. 57 true play action plays. So what do you do with this playbook? You run the ball. Pick your run concepts you like. All those outside zones, your powers, your counters, your draws, your outside zones. And then what do you do after all those? You throw play action on top of that. I mean, you have so much true play action. This does not even include those RPOs we looked at. This is a humongous playbook, as you can tell already, but I just had to point it out. You have just a humongous variety of play action here for it being just a pure shotgun / pistol playbook. Let's go over to runs. We've already looked at these in different order, but we got inside handoff 46. That's just an absolute ton. Your run game starts and ends here. Outside handoff, you got 10 there. You got a couple of pitches. Those are those 9 counters we looked at. Your 10 draws. You got a fullback run and a couple of QB runs. QB sneak out of goal line normal. Pretty much every team has that. But fake jet pass power is one you may want to pay attention to if you want to run your quarterback with no option built into it. Speaking of, you got 25 total options, more than enough. Most of it's read option, but you got a couple of triples built in as well. You got some speeds built in as well. So again, plenty to choose from. Then your RPOs, 26 of these. You got your 4 reads, your 8 peaks, and those 14 alerts. I suggest you start here if you really want to get into the RPO game with this playbook. So that is it. I hope you enjoyed this one. I think this is a really nice, diverse playbook. It's a really good one if you're not sure what you want to do, but you have an idea that you want to run a little shotgun and you want to run a little pistol. Again, it's kind of split into two, and it's just a lot of run and play action with a bunch of other stuff thrown in. A lot of good stuff that I think you'll really enjoy. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later.